And I would just want to instill a better sense of appreciation and understanding among the different cultures globally for the cuisine that we are serving. I feel like a diversity should be celebrated, and food can be the catalyst in bridging the gaps.
Today on Dirty Linen, we are heading to the Adelaide Hills to chat to Srishti Godbole. Srishti is a chef de partie at Maximilians, a beautiful spot over there. But I suppose the reason to catch up with Srishti this week is that she is one of 10 young chefs who are heading to Sydney to compete in the 2022 Pacific Region San Pellegrino Young Chef competition, which is coming up very soon. Srishti, I'm really thrilled to be chatting to you. Welcome to Dirty Linen.
Thank you, Dani. Even I'm excited to be on this podcast with you.
Great. Tell us a bit about yourself.
So basically, I come from the city of Mumbai, which is in India, and cooking has always been my passion since the very beginning. And when I'm not cooking, I also indulge myself in activities like painting, horse riding. I do martial arts and represent my country internationally. I also do swimming, among other things.
Wow, you have so much going on. What martial arts did you represent India in? So
I did karate, and I've been to many tournaments internationally. I've won in Commonwealth Games also.
Oh my goodness, that's amazing. It's so interesting because you're obviously very serious about being a chef. Entering this competition is it's a really big deal. How do you balance all these different interests?
It's almost like when I'm, when you're passionate about something, you'll just go to any lengths to do what you really love. And then you have your hobbies on the side when you just want to take a break. You just want to indulge yourself in something else. That's when I do the other stuff that I just mentioned.
That's really impressive because I would say indulging isn't the word when I would think about training to something at such a high level that you're in the Commonwealth Games, but I'm extremely impressed. Srishti, tell us about your journey as a chef. You said cooking was there right from the beginning. How did you turn it into a career?
So basically, my mother and my great-grandmother have a very important role in me wanting to become a chef. I remember, whenever I used to come home from school, my great-grandmom used to always prepare me some new delicacies every day. And I just used to look at her and I wonder, how do you do that every day? How are you so creative every day? And those flavors, the food that she used to make is still embedded in my mind. While my mother, on the other hand, she used to bake me these lovely goodies. She used to make pies, cakes, and souffles. And one day I was just helping her make souffle, and suddenly something clicked in my mind, and I was like, you know what? This is what I want to do in the future.
Wow, that is really amazing. So it wasn't a traditional Indian dish that got you excited about the idea of being a chef?
It did actually. Yes, it wasn't. But my great-grandmom used to cook only traditional Indian dishes. And my mom used to make these fancy stuff. So, yeah, you're right. It's technically not the traditional Indian dish.
Yeah. So tell me how you started to train as a chef.
So I've been in this industry for almost 13 years now. So initially when I was a bit hesitant, I remember before I joined any culinary school back in India, I decided to just get a hands-on experience and see how the kitchen is. I did that. I got some references. I did that. I experienced how the kitchen life was. And I was like, yeah, this is actually what I want to do. So after that, I enrolled myself in a culinary school in India called IHM Aurangabad, which is a different city in India. And through that, I did my industrial training and on-the-job training in Taj Group of Hotels, after which I worked at the JW Marriott Hotel at an Italian restaurant called Mezzo, where I got hands-on experience at different sections of the kitchen, like larder, pizza, pans, grill. And, I always believe that one should never stop learning. So I decided to apply to Noma for the internship program. And the next thing I know, I've got this amazing opportunity to start at the world's best restaurant at that time. And I was so excited.
Wow.
And at Noma, when I saw Rennie Redzepi work, like he's just got this rhythm to how he works, and that just kept inspiring me every day. And that's at Noma is the place where I learned to respect each and every ingredient, and I started looking at food from a different perspective altogether.
That's amazing. I mean, tell us about the world of being a stagiaire at Noma. I mean, what was the timeline? How many of you were there? What kind of tasks did you do?
So we were divided into different groups. Like every other month had a different intake. So my group, we were 20 people, all different nationalities. And I was there for 3 months. I was staging there for 3 months. And we started off working at the food production kitchen, where we used to do prep work for the service, and then slowly we moved into the service kitchen. We also, like every week, 2 interns had to cook staff meal for everyone, and there were at least 80 staff members. So it was a beautiful experience all in all. We did foraging, we worked at the fermentation lab. It was just different and new to me at that time.
And given that there's so many of you, is there accommodation? Are you all staying in the same place?
No, like we all were staying in different places back then.
Right, so you just organise your own accommodation?
Yeah.
Right, that's amazing. And I mean, what do you think that did for your aspirations and vision of yourself as a chef?
As a chef, like I just started believing in the fact that, how simple ingredients can be turned into something exceptional. Like you just, like for example, I've used carrots in my dish, and something as basic as carrot can be turned into something so amazing. And that's the inspiration that I get from Noma. Like, respect your ingredients, and the ingredients will talk for yourself, for itself.
So interesting. So what else happened in your glittering career?
After Noma, I decided to pursue like a grand diploma in cuisine and patisserie. So I went to Locke, London first, and I did that there. Then I did some small short courses in food photography and styling, because my dad's a photographer, so I get that photography from him. So I was like, I want to do something in that too. So I've tried to, venture out into different pathways in the culinary world. After that, I think I came back to India and I started working as a chef de partie at Flavor Diaries, which was a culinary studio in Mumbai. It's owned by Anjali Pathak. She's basically the brand ambassador and used to be the owner of the Pathak's Pickles and Spices. I don't know if you've heard about it.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So I worked with her, then I was promoted to sous chef with her. And then I started running my own business. I used to host pop-ups. I used to do 7-course tasting menus. I used to host private events like birthdays, book launches, catering for them. But during this whole phase of mine where I used to run my own business, I unfortunately had a back injury in the midst of all of it. So I was on bed rest for 4 to 6 months. And that's when I decided, I have to start over again. So then I moved to Australia. I did my advanced diploma from LCB, and then I bagged an internship at Attica with Ben Jury, where again I learned different things about the native ingredients and how you can accommodate that in your dish and make it beautiful.
Wow, that's amazing, Srishti. What a huge story you have. How long were you at Attica for?
I was to be honest, initially we were supposed to be in Attica for 6 months, but because of the lockdown, we had to cut it down to 3 months.
Right. And did you go back to India during the pandemic? What did you do?
No, I did not. No, I did not go back to India. Luckily, I was fortunate enough to immediately get a job at the pub called Hotel Brighton. So I started working there as a casual chef. And after that, I just kept working. I used to work at a bakery also called the Flower House for a bit. Then I also worked at View Events, which is part of the View of the Mon group. And then I also worked at Stomping Ground. That's what I've been doing so far in Melbourne.
And what took you over to the Adelaide Hills?
I just felt like I needed a change, and I moved to Adelaide mostly like like, I just wanted to be in a different place altogether for personal reasons. So I was like, let's go to Adelaide, let's try the food out, because I've heard so much about the food in Adelaide. Like, even when I had done a small trip to Adelaide, like, I used to dine at different restaurants, and I just found the food so flavorful and amazing that I thought that maybe this is the place for me.
So you started telling us about the dish that you're cooking in the San Pellegrino competition, the carrots. Can you tell us more about this dish?
Yes. So basically my dish is called the farmer's table, which consists of a slow-cooked beef cheek nihari, which is very robust and deep in flavor. Like I mentioned, that I've also tried to show the versatility of the humble carrot in various ways. So I've roasted my carrots and turned them into vessels for the beautiful nihari to sit in. I've also sliced some carrots and pickled them as scales on top of the nihari just to sit there. I've used the whole carrot. I've made like a carrot chutney with cumin yogurt. So every component just makes sense on the plate, and has a role in completing it and turning it into a gastronomic experience.
So what is that dish?
So Dani, nihari is basically the word nihari comes from the word nihar, which means morning in Arabic. So people would eat this dish in the morning to stay energized throughout the day, throughout the laborious day. Like, they used to work hard by just having this hearty stew in the morning. It was basically ages ago, like when the Mughal emperors moved to India, settled to India in different parts, they got their cuisines along with them, which has now become a part of our culture.
And so what are the ingredients in this nihari?
So in this nihari is ideally made with shanks, but here in my dish I've used beef cheeks because I was just opting for a more sustainable cut. And it's got different spices like vetiver roots, cumin, cardamom, cinnamon. It's got different spices which form this hearty stew.
Wow, it sounds so interesting. So in the competition is the idea that you basically cook one dish that you've thought about intensely, and then you present it to the judges. And do you know what are you judged on?
I know that I'm judged on the technical skills, the social response, the sustainability of the dish, and also if what sense does it make when it comes to gastronomy.
Wow! And have you been in other cooking competitions?
I have been in other cooking competitions like Shared Tables, Theory Marks.
And what is it that you think you get from competing like this?
I think by competing like this, I feel like you get to learn a lot from the other people you're competing with, like just by observation. Like, you start thinking on your feet, you become more accommodating to your environment. Like, if it's a small space, you know how to, function in that small space. You learn a lot of sportsmanship spirit, which, you win or lose, you've taken part, and that's what matters.
Wow. I mean, it's interesting, obviously you've competed as an athlete and you're competing as a chef. I mean, how can you compare these things?
To be honest, it's almost the same feeling when you compete. Like, you're nervous in the beginning, but at the end of it, it's going to be fruitful. You've given your 100%, and it's up to the judges to decide what they feel is right for you. And you just take it in positive stride. Like, you gave your 100%, you did your best, you are confident in your dish, and that's all that matters.
It's interesting, that you say looking at what the other people are doing is such a big part of it, because I would imagine you would also have to be so focused on what you're doing yourself. It surprises me that you would have time to see what everyone else is doing.
That's there. You're focused on your dish, but sometimes you just look around and you have the tendency to look, just look up for a bit and see what everyone's doing. At least I do. I don't know about everyone else, but I do, and I like to see what people are doing and see. It's like I said, it's always a learning experience. You never stop learning as a chef.
Yeah, I love that. So you've designed your dish, you've come up with a recipe. Do you practice, or is it just, you've locked and loaded and you just wait till you get there?
And I've practiced this dish a couple of times because for me, it's all about the fine tuning of flavors. And although this dish, has been really special to me as it takes back to my childhood, because my dad hails from Aurangabad, and Aurangabad is a city where the Mughal emperors had settled. So, I remember, moving, waking up early mornings during my summer vacations. I used to go to Aurangabad, and I used to wake up early mornings and sneak out of the house just to have this hearty stew. So it has a very important impact on me. But at the same time, I just know that I have to get the flavors right, because it's either make it or break it dish.
Oh my God, how exciting. So tell us about what you're doing at Maximilians, because you've had such experience. I'm just wondering, what are you getting from your role and what do you feel like you're bringing to it?
So currently I'm a senior chef de partie at Maximilians, and basically, to be honest, I started off at the desserts and baking breads every morning. But then I've also become an all-rounder there. I worked at the grills, I worked at larder, pretty much worked at bar food also. So I have, in a short span of time, gained a lot of experience in every section of the kitchen, which is, to me, a wonderful thing, because at least I know that I am capable of running different sections at my own time, and, I'm willing to put in that much effort to do that.
Yes, great. What are your hopes for the future, Srishti?
For the future, I really India is such a big country with so many different states and so many different cuisines with respect to each but different state. So I just want people to appreciate the cuisine for what it is, and introduce people to dishes that never heard of or seen before. To be honest, I love butter chicken, but Indian cuisine is far more than that. There's so much more to it that people have not even seen so far. For example, I come from Mumbai, which is a coastal area. Not many people know of what a good fried Bombay duck is. A Bombay duck is a fish, which is common to Mumbai.
I remember going to the fish market in Mumbai and seeing a lot of those fish and a lot of other fish as well. It's it's a really incredible scene.
And I would just want to instill a better sense of appreciation and understanding among the different cultures globally for the cuisine that we are serving. I feel like a diversity should be celebrated, and food can be the catalyst in bridging the gaps.
Yeah, well, that's a fantastic ambition, and I think you're so right. So do you think you'll stay in Australia, or will you continue your travels?
I would make Australia my base while traveling around and, just focusing on what I aim to do.
Yeah, amazing. And is there a region of India that you think is particularly needs more attention?
There are a few regions of India, in India, like Maharashtra. I come from a Maharashtrian household, which is basically the food is very simple. Our dish, our everyday meals consist of a thali, which is common in every Indian household, but it consists of dal, rice, roti, sabzi, a salad of some sort during the week, and during weekends it's like a delicacy. Go all out, eat whatever you want. So I feel that Maharashtrian cuisine that I'm talking about, and it needs more attention. So does Northeast Indian food, which is really amazing. They have a lot of fermentation techniques, and not many people know about that.
Yeah, we ages ago we had Pratik Sadhu on Dirty Linen, who cooks a lot of food from Kashmir and has a restaurant in Mumbai. And I noticed recently that Discovery Channel he's made a show for Discovery Channel about the food of Kashmir, which I think is really exciting.
That's true.
So, Srishti, what did you make for staff meal at Noma?
So for staff meal at Noma, I had made biryani one day. I'd made chicken curry and rice the other. I'd made like a staple breakfast for me that is called poha. It's like flattened rice flakes, tempered with turmeric, mustard seeds, curry leaves. And I'd also made like a potato cutlet with bread. So yeah, people loved it. People enjoyed it. So I was happy with that.
Oh, it sounds so good. I definitely would have enjoyed that as well. Srishti, it's been so good to have you on the podcast. Is there anything else that you'd like to leave us with?
I think that's it. I enjoyed chatting with you. It's such an honor and, privilege to being on Dirty Linen. And I'm just looking forward to the competition, and, I'm excited about it. So...
What words of advice would you have for some of the other contestants or anyone who's going in any cooking competition that perhaps doesn't have that athlete's attitude and fortitude?
I would just say that focus on your dish. You know what you're doing. You have the skills. Just be confident and go for it.
Love it. Great words. Well, I am so excited that I will actually be in Sydney for this competition. I really look forward to seeing these beautiful carrots. Srishti, thanks so much.
Thank you so much. I'm looking forward to seeing you at the competition too.
This is Dirty Linen, and I'm Dani Valent. We air the issues that the hospitality industry finds hard to talk about, hearing from different people with unique perspectives. We want to hear from you as well. If you have something that needs to be said about a topic, get in touch so we can include your perspective. Contact us at dirtylinenat deepintheweeds.com.au or hit us up on Insta at Dirty Linen Podcast. We can't wait to hear from you.
This